gives users as to why it's broken. This company has no incentive to improve. In an open market, the incentive to make your product better comes from competition and comes from basically ramifications. You'll be driven out of business if you don't make a good product. In this case, that's not the dynamic. And in fact, having a bad product is incentivized because it means more money in services and repairs for this business. And the reason why McDonald's corporate is okay with that is because the cost isn't borne by them. It's borne by local franchise owners who have to pay for services and repairs. Taylor has the capacity to make and improve ice cream makers. They do that all the time at Wendy's and Chick-fil-A and In-N-Out. And yet the machine made for their OG exclusive partner McDonald's doesn't receive the same improvement and refinement. Instead, it receives a bunch of new error codes and terrible user experience, which always leads to call the guy. One franchise owner I talked to said, all roads lead to call the technician. Like, this product is designed to get you to call the technician. At this moment, as I'm talking to you, 15%
Fix Little is now live. Streaming Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War, Grindin and Ragin melee weapons, PS4 offering, Alto August, Day 9, S.
Yay! 99966% of the time, your product is working. That means 3.14 errors for every 1 million opportunities. What you're seeing here with 15% is a dismal failure, and it is the product of no pressure or no incentive to improve, and in fact, a perverse incentive to keep it shitty. The last chapter of this story is the one that is still developing today, and it has to do with the email I got a few months ago from somebody who's deep in the middle of this. I'm going to lay out some facts here. I'm going to let the news play out over coming weeks and months to see how this happens, but here's what's going on. The guy who reached out to me originally was someone named Jeremy. He's a tech entrepreneur. He invented a product that could basically fix this problem of like terrible feedback to the user of these ice cream machines. It's this device that you plug into your ice cream maker and it connects with your phone and it gives you solid reporting on all the things happening in your ice cream machine, something that this does not do. And it identifies like actionable things that you can do to train your employees to make sure that that problem doesn't happen again. Basically, it avoids this happening in the first place and avoids you needing to call the guy all the time. As soon as Jeremy launched this product, it was a smashing hit with franchise owners. They started selling hundreds of these things to franchises all across the country. People Magazine reports that Chain has partnered with Kitch, a company that created technology to help employees manage the machines and reduce downtime. Franchise owners I talked to said that instead of getting these vague error codes, now they actually get like solid reporting on what is happening inside this machine, and they can like train their employees to help avoid this. Now, let me just caveat for a second. Jeremy and his company Kitch obviously have a big financial stake in this story. I'm aware that he reached out to me and gave me some of this data, and that there's a big conflict of interest in terms of like neutral journalism, and my informant being somebody who stands to gain a lot of money if this story comes to light.
Scoreboard, map, text.
Literally months. I've had to go through and independently report and verify every single thing that Jeremy has told me. Hence, this. So yes, while there is a major stake for Jeremy and Kitch for this story and for exactly what I'm saying here, the fact is, everything that I have said here checks out on my own independent reporting. Just let that be known. Okay, so Kitch got so popular among franchise owners that at this conference where all the franchise owners got together late last year to have a conference to talk about McDonald's things, sounds like a riveting conference, the head of this organization of franchise owners gets up and says,
now this is no silver bullet, but it's my belief that the information it provides increases awareness and results in faster reaction times when a problem does occur. Now to be clear, this is not a McDonald's approved piece of equipment.
I mean, he sort of like endorsed it. He was like, this is a sweet product. It's actually helping us out. Soon after this endorsement, McDonald's sends an email to all of its franchises that says that they've determined that Kitch is super dangerous. It may cause serious safety risks, and they recommend that the franchise owners stop using it, saying that they will void their warranty if they do. Wait, what? So you have this device that is clearly solving a major problem, and instead of being like, whoa, tell us more about this, let's see if we can get this like approved and put it into more shops, they blacklist it, and they scare away a bunch of their franchisees from using it. I reached out to McDonald's directly to ask them point blank, like, WTF? Why are you blacklisting a product that has the potential to solve this problem that you get made fun of all the time on the internet for? They came back to me with some boilerplate PR language about being committed to their customers and all this stuff, being able to buy sweet treats and all this. And then this little nugget at the end where they say that McDonald's is testing a connectivity solution with an approved McDonald's supplier. In other words, McDonald's is working on a product that does exactly the same thing. Oh, and the company that they're using to do this is called Powerhouse Dynamics, who is, wait for it, owned by a company that owns Taylor. They're under the same parent company, Taylor and Powerhouse Dynamics. They're keeping it in the family. Oh, and this device, the new one that they're testing out, doesn't give the full picture to the user. It continues to block them out of certain aspects of the machine that could be useful in diagnosing why the machine is always broken. The theme here is the same. It has been the whole time. Two old companies that have been working together for a long time, looking out for each other, and keeping control over data so that they can save their own necks from being disrupted by new tech. That is like a story like that is as old as time, and it is happening right here in a potentially collusionary way. Again, is this a deep conspiracy? Is there like secret backdoor deals going on? No, this is actually horribly predictable. What this is old companies who are afraid of being disrupted by smarter, better products, doing whatever they can to hold on to their share of the market. This new connectivity product that McDonald's mentioned to me basically does the same thing as Kitsch, but this new doesn't actually give the full picture. It still blocks the user out of those things that have been behind the technician's secret menu. The things that the user manual itself says are critical. It's the same old story of keeping tight control over what data and experience the user has so that they can continue to maintain their exclusive relationship with services and repairs, which is 25% of their business. It's honestly smart, shrewd, cutthroat business behavior. But you know who it hurts? It hurts the franchisees, and it hurts all of us who want to go buy McFlurries. This is anti-competitive behavior, trying to squash new products in the name of retaining control. So there's a lot of nuance.
Control.
Blasted through very quickly. But the
Take all enemy zones.
McDonald's ice cream makers are broken more than everyone else's ice cream makers that are made by the same company. Because the company that makes them has no incentive to improve, and in fact has an incentive to keep them bad. Over the years, they've done a terrible job.
Oh shit!
And they've kept employees, managers, franchise of what's actually going on. Like they're preventing them from actually being able to fix it themselves. And when finally someone comes with a product that can actually fix it, they squash it in the name of their own product that does sort of a worse version of what that new product was going to do. Kitsch is
We're capturing Bravo.
and certainly in coming months we will learn the details of exactly how it's all out. But for now, next time you're at McDonald's and they don't have ice cream, just know that it's not
Enemies
How?
contesting Bravo.
How though?
because of lack of training. It's because of an old relationship between two old companies that don't want things to change.
I'm so bad.
Bravo.
If you were able to look through the perspective of a person who thinks the world is flat,
Taking Bravo.
you'd see this.
Keep pushing. Take the last zone. Hostiles contesting A.
The North Pole
They're down to their last lives. Take them out.
Shit.
is right here in the center. The continent's laid
The enemy
out
team
over
have
this
no lives left.
plain. And here on the edges, you run into a 150-foot wall of ice guarded by
Enemies are
gas
contesting
vents.
A.
What the fuck?
Ice goes outwards, and when people try to go down there, they get turned away at gunpoint and put in prison.
The heavens are are a dome that arcs over the flat Earth. The sun, the moon, the stars, they're all just little balls
Enemies
of light
contesting
in the
Alpha.
sky that move around just above the Earth. There are loads of people who
Lives low, make him count.
YouTube channels and Facebook pages that you see hundreds of thousands of followers. Google searches for the term flat Earth proof.
We're running out of time,
look
MI6.
Like this, it's become incredibly popular. And recently, a poll showed that only 84% of Americans agree with
No
the
more
statement,
lives,
"I
no
have
more
always
chances."
believed the world is round. 84%. And if you're 18 to 24, that's more like 66%, which is like dangerously close to half. What is going on here?
Now the North Pole, the center of the deep ocean. The South Pole is the center of a high plateau, which averages 7,000 or 8,000 feet.
Shit.
Let's take what we can from this and move on.
What's even more frustrating is every time I try to look into this and understand it, all I see is coverage of like flat earth conventions and like interviews with these people.
Put him down.
This ain't it. These interviews are interesting, but I want to understand like
Switching
how
rally
someone
points.
with a thinking brain can actually get behind this. What is this actual belief? Where does it come from? And how do potentially millions of people believe that the Earth
Defend
is
all
flat?
zones.
The water is completely flat. For as far as we can see and as far as we've measured. And the horizon is completely flat.
I'm in Mexico now.
We're
I've been
defending
sitting on
Alpha.
the beach,
They're
reading
taking Bravo.
everything there is to read about the history of people who believe the Earth is flat. And there's one thing that I just had to try for myself.
This is a simple experiment that anybody can conduct to determine definitely that the Earth is flat. Grab a spirit level and take it on the plane.
Info 17, found this hardware store, bought myself a level. Gracias, amigo. And I'm bringing it
We're
with me on the
defending B.
airplane. I'm gonna do some of this.
If you are to fly on a non
Whose damn side are you on?
please explain what kind of experience you really had.
We're contesting A.
Fuck you.
That if the Earth is round, and
We're
I'm
contesting
flying
B.
thousands of miles,
They're
which I'm
taking
about to
A.
do, then the airplane will
All
have to
zones
be
contested.
tilted a
Push them
little bit
back.
to
We're defending A.
make it around the curvature of the Earth.
The plane should be
We're contesting
constantly
Bravo.
in order to compensate for the curvature.
I would be able to see the tilt of the airplane if I put my newly purchased level on the tray table in front of me.
I'm going to take my spirit level onto the plane.
If my
How did the fucking gas?
is totally level,
I'm far away.
Losing Bravo. We're defending Bravo.
can somebody explain to me duty free? Why perfume? Why is there so much perfume in duty free?
Hostiles are swarming our zones. We're driving hostiles out of all zones. We're defending B.
On an airplane, and I'm back. My little level experiment worked wonderfully. The bubble stayed nice and centered.
We're contesting
Turns out
Alpha.
The plane was not dipping its nose in order to make it around the Earth. This is the basics of gravity and physics. This video is not a debunk of flat Earth theory.
Hostiles are taking Alpha. We're contesting A. Hostile spy plane established overhead.
My fascination with the fact that there
We're
is
low on
lots of
lives.
people
Exercise caution.
a non-zero
Enemy is
number
gaining
of
ground.
humans.
Defend our final zone.
They work really hard. Are being used to.
Fuck! GG.
So here we go.
Hostile forces are capturing B. We're contesting B.
Wonder if I can get some really
We're contesting
dramatic,
Bravo.
like, conspiracy theory light.
Sit rep. Napalm strike inbound.
Fuck.
We're contesting B. They're out of lives. Proceed on mission.
Okay, let's get into this. I've been in the weeds learning about the flat Earth experience, what people believe and why, and where it all came from.
We're defending Bravo.
Fuck you.
Flat Earthers have become a thing
Bravo
just
lost.
in the past couple hundred years. So by like 205 BC, you've got these really smart Greek people making experiments that are like observing a globe-shaped Earth. Over the next several centuries, eventually this would just become the widespread thing among anyone who was doing experimentation on the world. And
Switching rally
eventually,
points.
nobody believed the Earth was flat. Even in like the medieval times, like it was a consensus that the Earth was a globe. So in short, flat Earthers weren't a thing during this
Catch
time.
all zones.
Literally in elementary school, I was taught that Christopher Columbus and like his voyage was somehow to prove that the Earth was round or maybe it was flat, and that there was like some.
Fuck you.
That's actually a total legend, and I have no idea why I was taught that. I actually am genuinely curious. Like, how did that happen? The fact is, Christopher Columbus, the Catholic Church, the Spanish patrons, no one thought the Earth was flat. But then, they became a thing. Any sort of flat earther movement didn't actually come, ironically, until science was really starting to heat up. During the mid-1800s, a huge amount of scientific breakthrough was happening. The scientific method was taking off, and huge breakthroughs in biology, physics, anatomy, and mathematics were taking place. But at the time, we're becoming uncomfortable
Close.
with how advanced
That was.
science was. These guys were like, hold on a second, you have all these fancy new tools to inquire
Get a move
into
on
the world
MI6.
and to understand
MTC's nearly
reality.
done.
But these tools are getting like too sophisticated and they're becoming too disconnected from like what I can understand and touch. They don't have science back. It happened for a really long time.
Wow.
It's just that like a person goes out, uses simple tools like a telescope to look at the world and to make conclusions about how the world works. So it's the 1800s, science is like time, and you have these guys, usually from like the
Hostiles are
US,
contesting B.
UK, who want to throw out this growing body of amazing advances in
Contesting
science, and
A.
they start
We're taking multiple zones.
Here's what those experiments look like. So, 1838, England, up in the county of Cambridgeshire, which literally sounds like a place in The Lord of the Rings.
We're low on lives. You know what to do.
And the atom had just been
Capturing multiple
discovered.
zones. Good
It's
job.
like being
Lives low.
flushed out.
Make him
And then
count.
you've got this guy. His name is Samuel Robotham, but he goes by the pseudonym Parallax. It's actually a pretty dope name.
Fuck you.
I would totally go with like
Enemies contesting Alpha.
Parallax decides, even though all this science is happening, he thinks
Alpha
it's time
lockdown.
to reopen up
One
the
more
debate
zone
about
remains.
whether
Make
or
the
not
final
the Earth
push. The enemy's out of
which was
lives.
like literally settled thousands of years earlier. But he's like, no. And he finds this canal system that is incredibly straight. This canal goes on for almost 10 kilometers, like 6 miles of just straight.
No more lives.
Fuck, I
No more
shot.
The
chances.
Earth is a globe. It's 25,000 miles in circumference. Then if I look at a straight line,
Nigga, what?
mile, the curvature of the Earth would mean that the canal is now 8 inches lower. After 2 miles, it would be 32 inches lower. After 3 miles, 72 inches lower, meaning like 6 feet, almost 2 meters. And so he thinks eventually the dip from the curvature of the Earth would be so great that you could easily observe it. So he gets in the water, he puts a telescope right above the surface of the water, and then puts a boat on the canal with a 1 meter tall post on it. So what he wants to see is if the Earth is curved, if it's a globe,
Enemy
this
RCXD detected.
will start to disappear over the horizon.
It's just you
So
and me
it does
now.
it.
Let's show
The
them what
boat
we're
goes
made of.
away, it goes the entire 6 miles of the
All
canal.
operators, egress
And
hot
it
This
zone
stays
nigga.
immediate.
in sight the entire time. It doesn't dip over the horizon. And he just goes, he's like, man, I just proved that the Earth is flat. And I did it with a telescope and a boat. Like, screw you, science. I'm making breakthroughs in Cambridgeshire. And then he writes this book. He puts out this experiment and several others that he does. But wait, this experiment's like kind of legit, right? Like it adds up. Like his numbers were all correct about the circumference and the dip of the curvature. Like why didn't it dip? Like why was the boat still in sight? There's nothing wrong with this experiment. Parallax, not that great name. Maybe he was onto something. No, this is stupid. This is like a third-grade science experiment in your backyard. This experiment doesn't take into account how the natural world actually works and how light behaves and refracts based on the different air densities. This is like stuff that people already figured out, and like Parallax is sitting there getting wet in a canal, like trying to observe this on it. No, this does not prove anything. But Parallax didn't want to hear any of this. He didn't want to talk about atmospheric refraction and air density and how light behaves in different media. Too complicated, too abstract. You can't touch and feel that stuff. Instead, Parallax sees science and observing reality as a much simpler task. Book, he says, nature speaks to us in a peculiar language, in the language of phenomena. She answers at all times the questions which are put to her. Just like go out and like put a question to Mother Nature and she'll answer it. As scientific methods become more sophisticated, they become harder for you and me to understand. Parallax and his canal experiments are a reaction to all of this. They are a call for a simplification of scientific methods and a return of the senses as the primary force for understanding reality. He called his method of reductionist pseudoscience the zetetic method. He says that honesty of thought is to look at truth in the face, not the side face, but the full front. Just look at it, go out and observe it for yourself. He was among several scientists and mathematicians at the time who were on this train of let's use really simplified reductionist math and science to prove that the Earth is actually flat. This argument of the flat Earth flickered for a little bit in the 1800s, gained a little bit of traction, but then eventually it died out until just a few years ago.
Be another vegetable. Pseudoscience garbage will to me be unacceptable. Anyone with eyes to see don't have to be susceptible. Dispose of your globe in the nearest waste receptacle.
There is no curvature to this Earth. There is no motion to this Earth.
If you just accept the globe model with no understanding of the flat and no clear evidence for the tall Earth.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Very similar to what Parallax was doing.
17!
And this is data. This is repeatable, observable, measurable.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. This one has 18.
Zooming into horizons, but now
Or is they don't know how to count.
Visual stuff to play around with. They now have airplanes. They now have satellite imagery to play around with. They now have the moon landing to dissect. And now they're taking levels onto airplanes, like I did.
Your plane can't go upside down. Here's the thing, globe hugger.
Like the flat earthers today want to use their own intuition and senses to understand reality. And in the process, they reject and ignore the huge body of science that we all live with today.
So, people that have physics degrees, astronomy degrees, they got their degree by regurgitating what their teacher in the books told them.
Instead of trigonometry and telescopes and canals, the flat earthers today use videos and photos circulated on the internet.
The azimuthal equidistant projection map that the USGS actually uses is the flat Earth map.
Wait, did he just say azimuthal equidistant projection? That's like my favorite projection. Is that the flat Earth map? Don't fuck with me in projections. I take them very seriously. In true internet fashion, this new current movement of flat earthers has become just a bunch of bumper sticker type assertions and images that are really easy to share. Just like Parallax's experiments, these methodologies completely ignore the way the natural world is observed to thousands of years of scientific consensus. But if you go to the FAQ page of the Flat Earth Society, you'll see what they're after here. They believe that evidence is, quote, relying on your own senses to discern the true nature of the world around us. That's the best evidence. And in that vein, that's what these people are doing.
I mean, so in the physics world today, do they not understand that convex lenses or fisheye lenses or GoPro have a distorted view?
So, what have I learned from all of this? From my understanding, the Flat Earther movement, whether from the 1800s or today on the internet, is actually not totally about the shape of the Earth. This movement has a much broader message built into it. There's a reason why 1984 is like in the canon of the Flat Earther movement. 1984 has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. What it does have to do with is being skeptical of big institutions that are probably watching you, that are probably controlling your life. Bad information to retain power.
We're not crazy, we're just sick of the lies.
Here's the thing. Most of the knowledge we have about the natural world, the universe, we've never seen. We've never seen exoplanets or the deep space telescopes that tell us so much about our universe. Instead, we read about this stuff.
I think I can use this.
We benefit from its findings. We pay our taxes to fund more of it. Science is like a tall tower, and each individual researcher and institution adds a little brick to that tower, each brick resting on the one below it. No one person sees or understands all of the bricks. Instead, we have a system of debate, review, scrutiny that only allows the most accurate information to be added to the tower. And honestly, I don't think humans are well suited to adapt to this very impersonal way of understanding the world. We have evolved over millions of years with our senses as our main driver of survival. And now we live in a society that is run by big systems and impersonal institutions that we will never touch and feel, much less understand. And that's why we have people who believe the world is flat, despite conclusive evidence to the contrary. This belief is a proxy for a much larger paradigm. Trust anything that you can't touch and feel. And so yeah, I'm really sad that only 84% of people can say with certainty that they've always believed the world is a globe. And that's 64% for younger people. Only 64% of people. Like that just blows my mind, and it's incredibly sad. But despite this belief, this movement, these conventions, this total lunacy, science will continue to do its thing. It will continue to go out, observe the world with these amazing tools that we have, come back, debate it, and add to this tower of knowledge that helps us see the world as it really is. I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is this amazing giant repository of online tutorials where you can learn everything you can imagine, from photography to design to illustration to character animation to filmmaking to entrepreneurship, all the things, and you get unlimited access to the entire library if you subscribe. You get 2 months free to Skillshare if you click the link in my description. You should check out this course on the fundamentals of photo editing. Photo editing is truly a little bit of training. You can dramatically change how your photos look and feel, both from just simple mobile photography all the way to advanced professional photography. Having these fundamentals in your toolkit will help.
Sheesh, that's lit. So
click the link in the description.
I think I might buy this one
for 2 months for free. Like, you literally don't pay any money for 2 months. You can test it out and see if you like it. After that, I think it's like less than $10 a month if you subscribe to the yearly. Which, $10, like $10 to have access to this giant repository of tutorials is like a no-brainer to me. So, I love Skillshare, I love internet learning. Go check it out. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll be back soon with some more stuff. See you.
This nigga. Oh shit, I'm supposed to be in a game. Was I kicked? Bruh. Yep.
This is going to be a pretty different video from what I normally post. If you're from the flat earth, this is about. If you're one of my regular viewers, I'll fill you in as quickly as possible. Last week, I posted a video about how we know the Earth isn't flat. This was really just to reinforce and contextualize some lessons from earlier in my astronomy playlist. I figured I'd get a few trolls, nothing major, but instead the entirety of the flat Earth community descended upon it with a vengeance. The YouTube channel Globe Busters informed me that they were going to be deconstructing my video in their weekly live stream, and they invited me to check it out. I didn't really know what to expect. I thought there'd be some degree of dialogue or exchange. There definitely wasn't. Everything they were saying I was discrediting in real time, and they were acknowledging none of it. On top of that, they were extremely rude to me, so I had to respond simply as a point of honor, and that's this. So let's begin. I'll start with the only valid criticism you had of me, and that is that I misrepresented and didn't research it enough. You're right. I didn't look up almost anything you believe. But now that you've
told me so many of the things that you do believe. Even better, let's go through how all of them are wrong. Since I botched your model so horribly, let's go straight to yours. This is the one you showed me to explain the seasons. It attempts to account for the temperature differential throughout the year, but I'm sorry, it's not compatible with observation. Here's why. These are the two tropics. I don't know what you think these circumferences are, but it's safe to say that this one is smaller than this one. If that's the case, one of two things.
You're selling a laptop? LA.
Must be true. Option 1. This object maneuvers the inner path in a shorter amount of time than it maneuvers
Seize the objectives.
which would make summer shorter than winter. It's not.
Hardpoint
Option
located.
2. It moves much slower up here and much faster
Hostiles
down
have
here,
captured
so
the
that all
hardpoint.
of the circles take the same amount of time. That would mean the sun moves through the sky at different speeds throughout the year. It doesn't. So sorry, this model doesn't work. Now let's go to the one you showed me for night and day.
Fuck you, huh? Think I can't snipe?
Is experiencing day and the other half is experiencing night at any given time.
Ah, so I'm the one, yeah?
Does, but at the cost of being even remotely reasonable. You've got the sun illuminating past this surface with an arbitrary and rigidly straight line down the middle.
Hardpoint locked down.
How does light leave this object and travel one distance
Hardpoint
to
lost.
stop here and travel some totally different distance to stop over here? You guys love to talk about refraction and such. Please explain how that works. And that's not the only problem. Here, you've got the sun and moon.
Hardpoint identified.
Sometimes we can see the sun
Hostiles
and
have
moon at the
captured
same
the
time.
hardpoint.
How does that work? What is an eclipse? When in this model does the moon get under the sun to block it? How do they get on opposite sides of the earth for a lunar eclipse?
Holy
The
shit.
sun is very, very close and is also the source of all our heat.
What?
It gets hotter when you go up towards it in elevation. None of it works. We've barely even started, but let's review. We are trying to explain just two phenomena.
My nigga!
Night and day. To this, you have two different models, both of which are incompatible with observation, but furthermore, they are incompatible with each other. Why can't you even attempt to explain both of these phenomena at the same time? Going back to your day and night model, it's weird because you said that the sun moves between the tropics. Why isn't that shown here? Because if you did show that, you'd also have to change something about how far the light reaches, which would make this already absurd graphic.
Hardpoint located.
Nigga! Bruh.
You show the dark half and light half while showing this. It's deliberately not shown because it would be obviously inconsistent. Therein lies the problem with the flat Earth model. You don't have one. You can't even explain two phenomena.
Hardpoint
in the same
contested.
model. The boat model has no problem doing this.
Hardpoint
This boat
lost.
spins, so the half facing the sun is day and the other half is night. As it goes around the sun, the hemisphere
Enemy spy
receiving
plane
more
inbound.
direct sunlight experiences summer. The one with less experiences winter. That's right. Sorry to burst your bubble. It doesn't correlate with sunlight.
Nigga, fuck you, Mickey. Mickey Mouse, fuck you.
Sunlight at an angle to the ground, same amount of energy distributed around a greater area. And there it is. Both the seasons and day and night.
Hostile
are
RCXD
displayed
in your AO.
And go figure, simultaneously.
Hardpoint
Honestly, I
identified.
can stop right here. If you respond to this with anything other than a model that can explain at least the
Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
simultaneously, your viewers should
Hardpoint
find that
is secure.
very indicative of the fact that you don't have one. But while we're here, let's go through a few dozen.
Hardpoint contested.
Given that we're on the subject of models, let's get
Hardpoint
to
locked down.
for your explanation of the Coriolis effect.
Enemy spy plane inbound.
What the fuck? Fuck you!
Tide, and then you also got these winds
Fuck you.
Push the atmosphere in one direction and magically in the other direction to the left? What about storm rotation? What this whole thing was about?
Fuck you, man.
You just say leading to electromagnetism and hand wave it away.
No, Dave, we're not trying to claim that it's all caused by magnetism. My God, you extrapolate stuff that is just utterly ridiculous. You never said that.
Oh! Oh shit, that's my first time. What the fuck? Ah, that was lit. That was lit. What the fuck?
Consistent with your model. Here's why.
Bruh. Here, I just watched that both flat top of it. This is what happened. What the fuck, man?
Hardpoint located. Hostiles have the hardpoint.
She just down, boy.
Throwing some things. Hostile sentry turret active. Spetsnaz, you're better than this. Fight harder.
Fuck off.
Hardpoint located. Hardpoint locked down. Hostile RCXC in your AO.
Fuck you.
Enemy care package above. Enemy spy plane inbound.
Fuck you, man.
Contesting hardpoint.
Sniper is gone.
Contesting hardpoint. Enemy sentry turret detected in your AO.
What? Bruh.
Hardpoint located. Hostiles have the hardpoint.
And that goes my controller.
Enemy spy plane inbound.
Wow. I know where to go now.
Hardpoint locked down. Hardpoint lost. Hardpoint locked down. Hardpoint lost. Hardpoint is secure. Hostile spy plane established overhead.
I know the fuck. Fuck you.
Hardpoint contested.
What the fuck? Oh shit.
Hardpoint contested. We've lost the hardpoint. Hardpoint locked down.
Yeah!
Enemy cruise missile launch detected. Hardpoint locked down.
Bruh.
Proximity mines. Hardpoint contested. We've lost the hardpoint. Hardpoint locked down.
Gah!
Contesting hardpoint.
Nigga, how's that?
S.2 in your AO.
Ah, fucking. What the fuck, man?
Hardpoint contested. Loyalty to the party, loyalty to the motherland. Victory.
Sheesh.
All hostiles eliminated.
Okay. I get those goosebumps every time. I'm in a high. Go back to desire. Seven 1-3. Excuse? Bruh. Okay. Let's assume at around 30 minutes, 38, 35.
3-5.
Yep.
is that possible is furthest away from the source of the effect. None of it makes sense.
None of it.
In actuality, the Coriolis effect is just the result of basic physics relating to rotating bodies. That's why the equator is the dividing line. Pretty simple, don't you think?
No.
Which makes a whole lot more sense than the Coriolis effect, you know, being the reason in the heliocentric on the ball Earth for storms going in opposite sides of the equator. That is just silly when you think about that. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Team deathmatch.
It's ridiculous.
Wow, very convincing argument. Let's move on.
Astronomy and astrophysics and all of that, these aren't even real sciences, okay? Now, you obviously are going to claim that they are, but the reason that they're not real sciences is because the only thing that you can do is observe them. You cannot test them, you cannot do anything to be interactive with them.
We've taken the lead.
Generate hypotheses or experiments or anything like that. All you can do is simply observe.
Sorry guys, that's dead wrong. There are hundreds of examples I can choose. In the 19th century, we noticed irregularities in the orbit.
Shut the fuck up.
We realized these irregularities could be explained if there was another planet perturbing its orbit by gravitational influence. We did some math and predicted that there should be another planet in a particular place. We looked in that place, and what do you know? There it was. You can't get any more empirical than that. Do some math, make a prediction, the prediction is
Fuck you!
Tune is a great example that corroborates Newtonian gravitational theory and demonstrates that astronomy is
Just number.
It's not surprising that you don't understand this, because this is one of many instances that you demonstrate yourselves to be the Kruger effect. This is where your absolutely minimal experience has that you have expertise
Fuck you.
in a particular field. Where in reality, you are essentially incompetent. It is a cognitive bias that will be demonstrated many more times in this video. Now let's move on to another category. There are about 1,000 need to understand conservation of momentum.
We're losing this fight.
Let's see which ones you're guilty of.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you're doing an Olympic, say, long jump event, I would always opt to jump from east to west because, you know, where you're going to land should be racing towards you.
No. When you jump off the Earth,
Enemy counters by plane.
You retain the momentum imparted upon you by the rotation.
We're pulling ahead.
The atmosphere. It's also very easy to prove.
Wow.
Stand on the back of a moving truck. Jump up. What happens? Do you fly back off the truck at 30 miles an hour? No. You land right back where you started, even though the truck has moved forward while you were in the air. Why? Because in the air, you retain the forward momentum of the truck. When you...
And of course, the globe earthers are going to say, well, you have
Fuck you!
and you're going to retain that momentum forever. And the same thing applies to airline flight.
Yeah, you got it. So, are we good?
But you do a test on a
Fuck
train
you.
or, like you said, on a plane, and just simply jog from the front of a moving train to the rear, and time yourself, or just observe, you know, and then do the same thing running or jogging to the front of the moving train. I've done this myself. I promise you that you'll find that it is much easier to run from the front of the train to the rear.
Pretty tough to reproduce, don't you think? Here's an idea. What if it was harder to jog to the front of the train because the train was speeding up slightly? Try it again when the train is slowing down. I bet your results will change.
We're losing momentum.
This is not a valid experiment.
25-mile target from New Jersey to flight time, 90 seconds. So you're aiming, shift. It takes 90 seconds for the bullet to get there. The problem is, in 90 seconds at the equator, the Earth
Why you shoot me?
Hostile air patrol detected.
90 seconds for the bullet to get there. But in that 90 seconds, the light so you're going to miss it by 25 miles. Here's the good part.
Don't understand conservation of momentum? That when you presented this whole bit to me, it was supposed to have something to do with the Coriolis effect. But like I said, this basic fact of physics has nothing to do with the atmosphere. The boat and the bullet and lighthouse are all moving around.
Hostile care package inbound.
The bullet will continue with the same momentum that the boat has once it leaves the gun. Again, super easy to prove. Get back on that moving truck. This time, bring a friend, and pass a ball back and forth. You will observe that the ball does not fly off the back of the truck when it leaves your hands.
Sit-rep.
Instead, it
Inbound.
precisely as you would expect. Another way of expressing it is that you two
Good job, number.
Medcall, incoming artillery.
thing that you guys have a hard time with. That too.
Fuck you! GG.
RCXT in your AO.
What our solar system is.
How did he kill both of us?
The mathematics for this are not being taken into account.
This graphic is stupid. The blue trails don't exist, and the solar system is not important. All the motion
Fuck you.
within a plane.
Suck on nigga.
That plane in the sky. It's called the ecliptic, where all the planets live. But more importantly, that because
Enemy sentry turret detected in your AO.
all the laws of physics.
Cruise missile inbound.
Let's do another experiment. Now let's get back on that truck, move at a constant velocity relative to the ground.
Wow.
Again, we get the same thing. Now get on a plane and do it again. The plane is moving much faster, but you still get the same result. Each of these is an inertial reference frame. The laws of physics are exactly the same. So the results of this experiment are the same in each of these frames, no matter what is relative to something else. That's because all motion is relative.
Gah! So close.
I'm sorry, it doesn't matter how fast the solar system is moving relative to the center of the universe, or how fast the Milky Way is moving relative to some other galaxy. There is no absolute. There is only
Strike inbound.
and these big numbers that you're throwing out for shock value are irrelevant to us. We can treat the solar system as an inertial return. The physics works just
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah, we're going to show you all about
Fuck you.
inertial reference frames aren't going to cut it. These are absolute motions that they're telling us that they're going.
I told you, there's no such thing as absolute motion.
Yeah, there's no such thing as absolute motion. I love this. This is so great.
Yeah, there isn't. I'm sorry you don't understand. That's not my problem.
Nigga!
Telling us that we're going at all these velocities, then you know, you're telling science that it's not.
Okay, let's shift gears and come back down to Earth. You guys have a lot to say here, especially regarding the stars in the night sky.
All of millennia, nothing has ever changed.
Take the North Star. Right now, it's Polaris, in the time of the ancient Egyptians, which is documented. In a few thousand years,
Air patrol inbound.
the precession is extremely slow. Any thoughts?
Enemy counters don't
For
play.
18 years, we should have seen a missile
Hostile sentry turret.
rotation and Polaris.
Yeah, you can, just not with the naked eye. The change is very tiny.
Now, the globe Earth proponents say there used to be a different North Star 6,000 years ago, and there will be another new North Star in another 6,000 years, but
Fuck you.
Face the consequences.
observe it in the future. I mean, we're all going to be long gone in 6,000 years.
I'm sorry that astronomical phenomena don't conform to your life.
Nigga! That was a headshot.
Why make up this part? Why deliberately introduce the problem of the precession of the rotational axis if it's not needed for anything? It makes no sense. Then comes about the personal dome.
And all stars we can see go now storm forward to the horizon at the edge of that circle, of a 12,000 diameter circle. So as you move this dome of stars,
Стыдитесь. I expected much more.
We could
Headed to
deconstruct
casualty evacuation point.
this idea for 10 hours. Perspective and refraction all you want, but that's unless you can build a physical model that predicts the position in the sky of any star for any person anywhere in the world. Do that, and then we'll talk. Staying on the Earth, let's check out this bizarre tangent you took into ecology.
At 65 degrees north latitude, Iceland thrives with 850 native plant species and abundant animal life. Compare this to Georgia Island, which, despite being a whole 11 degrees closer to the equator than Iceland, at 54 degrees south latitude, is nearly devoid of any ecoculture, having only a measly 18 native plant species and virtually no animal life.
There are no animals on this one island, therefore the Earth is flat. Got it. Sorry guys, there's a lot more to ecology and climate than just latitude. Again, easy to prove. What's the hottest place on Earth? California. Notice that it is nowhere near the equator. Take a look at the distribution of biomes around the world. There is some correlation with latitude, but it's not perfect. Pick a latitude and see a desert over here, a rainforest over there, and all sorts of things. And finally, the thing with the animals is just stupid. The distribution of animal species is subject to an incredible set of variables that are irrelevant to this discussion.
So you're saying, what does animals and foliage have to do with it, Dave? Well, everything, really, when you think about it.
All you can really assume is that the continent of Antarctica should be super cold. And yeah, it is. It's right on the South Pole. As it happens, you had lots to say about Antarctica as well. Namely because it's the super secret edge-based fortress whatever, and no one can go there.
There's so few of them, and all of them, by the way, are Masons, right? Or royal family or something like that. But the average Joe can't go down there.
Sure, only Freemasons can go there. Or all of these people. Guys, just Google Antarctica cruise. Literally anyone can go there, and they do so every day. Sure, only to certain spots, but Antarctica is a huge, frozen, barren wasteland. No tourist would want to traverse it. Of course, you believe that we're not allowed because... why was it NASA is guarding it?
No, Dave, NASA is not guarding it. NASA is an American government agency. It is guarded by the combined military force of all the parties to the Antarctic Treaty. And how do they guard it? Where's the budget for it? Have you ever heard of a black budget project, Dave? Probably not, because you believe that the government is legitimate in every way, shape, and form. Have you ever heard of radar, Dave, where you don't have to have people walking guards? They can see ships, they can see planes coming in. It's really quite easy, Dave. But here's your ignorance shining through, buddy.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, the combined military of many nations is guarding it, except we can't see any military personnel, or any military ships, or any military buildings. For that whatsoever. Got it. And also, we can't sail anywhere near there?
You will find out why people are not allowed down there. It's because...
Schlang 1500. That is a lit offer. Last this nigga, this HP scan jet can be so helpful.
Rev up those fryers, Josiah.
Wrap up those fryers. And a banana. And I have been kicked. Lit. It's lit. It's lit. Okay.
Hello guys, welcome back to the Malarkey channel.
My name's Malarkey, the new hit. I'm the sexiest one. Here, I do a lot of boxing. Well, in this circumstance, I'm sipping. What goes on? That's not the lyrics. But yeah, how are you guys doing on this lovely evening? Hopefully you're doing well, swell, smell, dingy. In today's video, we're going to be continuing the series of If I Cringe, I Die. It's self-explanatory. If I cringe, I die. We have 3 element reactions, which are like nukes of cringe.
Did it with nail polish, like the clear nail polish, and it didn't work. So I'm gonna have to work on that. But it says stream, but that's a W. Nobody. And then the first time I tried to do it, it failed. So I made this today, and
And if I hit 3 of those, I die on camera. It's real. It's real. It happens a lot on this channel. Then why are you still alive? Joe Biden. I'm not gonna lie, it feels like it's been a while since I've done a Cringe I Die. 3 weeks! Yeah, we're gonna take a look at some of the cringiest TikToks of all time. It's gonna be hard, but the main goal's not to cringe. Let's do this together, boys. Roll the intro. No proof of you, it's still Ramadan. It's slow.
it's a floater!
Alright guys, so on my silly device here, you know, it's nothing new. We do this every month. Bro, I just wanted to show you how like down bad my fucking explore page is. This shit's getting out of hand. But I will leave a like. I remember last time I was like, Vile Cringe, can you promote my album in your thing? He said no. So in conclusion, we're boycotting Vile Cringe, we're not doing Vile Cringe. Island Boy, shout out to Drake, let's go. Okay, I have several questions. Why did he just stare at her and not really do anything? Like I was expecting a smooch. His head looks like a bacteria. Second of all, why is Jimin playing over Doge? What? Where's my BTS fans at? Yeah, that was not even, that was kind of cringe, but it wasn't an element reaction good. So it's going strong. Did you miss me? Not watching that. Not watching that either. I don't know why. I just don't want to see old people.
Reusable toilet paper. Did you know 27,000 trains are flushed daily? These help avoid waste and save money.
I don't know why, but the whole time I was playing, the meme, it's a floater, kept playing in my head, and I don't know why.
I want to see your cheeks glow red.
I don't like that. I didn't like that. Stop opening your mouth, man. Like, it's time to make the same joke. Titan, colossal Titan. This is about to go hard, I can just tell.
What the fuck?
Okay. I don't know what that was, but it was hard.
Ah.
Did that go hard?
What the? Me gone.
Someone pissing in the background. What is going on?